This got announced today. They've officially announced that Fallout TV show is getting premiere date. You guys play Fallout?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, a couple of them.
Familiar.
I played 4. That was the one I played. Uh, let's see. Where are we coming here? Fallout, California. You can watch the date now. It's announced 26th anniversary. Where's the date though? Come on, give me the date. Give me the date. I don't see the date. Oh, right there in front of me. Boomer. 4/12/24. So April. What do you guys think?
It's a game that could very well lend itself really well to a show. I just don't know if I trust Prime to do it right. They,
Yeah. Plus, like, it might have a similar thing that The Boys did, where it's like the first season's gonna be really good, and then the second season's like when it all just falls apart, and that's just being generous on if it's good or not. From what I understand of Fallout, there's like a lot you can do, so and it does.
That's my question. Where do you start with the Fallout show?
Well, in one of the lockers, they would have to one of the things.
Which locker? Where? I mean, because they all take place at different areas of the country and dealing with different factions and shit like that. So, where do you start? Because it is pretty fluid like that, isn't it?
How many of them were there? How many of those the things were there?
Well, there was the famous Locker 76 games. So I guess there were 70 or more lockers.
There must be, because I would go off one that hasn't been in the games. I wouldn't try to actually recreate the game. I would just go off the world of it. But like I said, I think they could really, like I said, it had there's potential, which is different than a lot of shows they try to do where there's no potential. I just like I said, I just think you're gonna get it so bad. But I mean, look how well The Last of Us did. I mean, the kind of post-apocalyptic, semi-zombie, this type thing. It could be successful. Like I said, I just think they're going to really fuck it up because Prime does fuck up everything.
And not just that. Look, it's Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy who did Westworld. We know from
I didn't season. I think was supposed to be good. Then after that, it just
I haven't watched it, but what I heard is the Westworld season 1 was one of those perfect television seasons.
Yep.
And should have just stopped there. And then we know the story after that. It just goes downhill and goes into Woke City. And is it going to be the same with this? Is it going to be something incredible out of the gate? And then they do what they always do. They renew it for second season. And then they just go off the rails immediately and make it terrible because of agenda and bullshit.
Yeah, which is completely against the world, because the whole thing is after you're shoved in that fucking place with generations and stuff all stuck in the same thing, racism doesn't really exist. You never have like any racist shit happening in the games that I can remember.
I think the closest thing was Fallout New Vegas with where there was a DLC where you're with the guy Joshua Graham, and like he's got like a bit of a bias against certain individuals, but that's just because of his background, because he was part of like this group of like wannabe like Roman legionnaires that just were totally into like slavery and shit. Like there's that, but beyond that, I've not seen anything that's like racism or shit. So it's like any of this wokeism shit is null and void, especially when it's like the world literally got nuked and we're dealing with like irradiated monsters and golems and shit.
And it's not even as though there needs to be a problem between male and female protagonists, because every game you could choose to be a man or a woman.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Racism is one of those freaking, I guess it's kind of weird to say, but a luxury for people who aren't trying to survive, with, like you said, mutants and irradiated people. When you live in a post-apocalyptic world where you're barely surviving and you're just praying to make it to the next day, you don't really sit there and go, oh, this guy's skin colors, I have an issue with it. It's more like, is he going to kill me? And if you're a good person, are you my ally? Can we make friends? It doesn't matter what color the fucker is, but they're going to make it all about race.
I'm going to walk up to a super mutant and ask them what their pronouns are.
Yeah. And like, here's, I think, my biggest fear, I think it would be, because this is something that's happened with The Boys as primary example. It's like the first season will be really good. It'd be really good. They don't do anything crazy with it. It's like, okay, they keep strictly to the source, and it's a fun, good time. Everyone loves it. Everyone's gobbling it up. Everyone's praising the shit out of it. Second season hits you right with that crap. And then they have a bit of a defensive leeway because they've bought up all the goodwill, and every time you mention it's like, oh, okay, they're pulling all this crap here. Then they'd be like, oh, shut up, you're silly. This show is totally peak. And it's only going to be like years later down the line that they realize, yeah, once it got to season 2, it fell off.
I'm going to go with what Devil said. If they're going to do this, choose a vault that is not part of the established canon. This is one of those rare instances where you can do that and you're not going to piss anybody off from deviating from the game's stories. Because you just pick a different vault. You can pick any one of the factions that were out there and just have it be a branch of that, and lean into the fact that in the world of Fallout, everybody's an asshole.
Yeah,
you may be a good guy, but you're also trying to survive, or like in the case of Fallout 4, the only one I played, you're looking for your kid that got taken from you. Although I went off on so many side missions, I forgot about my kid, to be honest. But lean into it. Everybody's a dick. There's no good guys. Not necessarily everybody's a bad guy, but you're dealing with a lot of people who are out in organizations and factions that are out for themselves, and just and go with some and go crazy. Super mutants, creatures, all kinds of weird shit can go on. Crazy bandits, crazy everything. Giant freaking exoskeleton powered armors. Lean into it. Don't run away from it.
Yeah, I'm really I could see this being really good. Like one of my favorite movies I watched on streaming. Have you guys ever watched what's it called? The one with the guy from 90210, Jeremiah. Have you guys ever seen that?
No.
Is his name Jason Priestley?
Was it Jason Priestley?
Yeah, and the guy who played Theo in the Cosby Show, the one who played the son.
I used to know his name. I forgot it. It's almost midnight. I don't remember names anymore at this time of night.
Yeah, that's why I called him a locker, because my brain was fried and I couldn't remember Vault.
Theo Huxtable.
Yeah, it plays, and it what happened was there was like a disease that killed all adults, and only people who weren't affected was if you hadn't gone through puberty. Anybody above puberty died. And so it was like these kids who were all either young or just about to hit puberty, all of a sudden are in this world with no adults, and they're trying to learn how to survive and stuff. So all the characters throughout the show are all around the same age or younger. There are no old people in the entire show. And the first season was so good. Second season dropped off a little bit. I think there was a third season, but it was like short.
I remember hearing about this. This was like a decade ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like one of the.
I remember hearing about this show.
I think it was an HBO show, but it was it was a long time ago, and it was really good. And it had to do with vaults and stuff. That's where people survived. It turned out the government survived inside of this vault. There's all this stuff, but that was a really good show, and it ended too abruptly. And I was pissed because I really remember that show. So.
Okay, it was one of those early campaigns, Save Jeremiah and shit like that. I remember.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was about to get canceled, I think, after season 2, and they did a campaign to get it, either that or season 1, and then they pulled for season 2, and then they got season 3. But that's a really good show. I would say watch it.
I remember. I remember that. I didn't watch it, but I remember its existence. But yeah, so I don't. I don't want to say there are red flags, really, but there are warning signs that this could go either really well or really badly. Because Jonathan Nolan has proven he can make a really good first season of something, but then have control wrested away from him and it goes woke, 0 to woke in 60 seconds. And it could be really, really bad. Yeah. And again, this is, like I said, this is one of those moments where they don't have to stick to a particular storyline that's already established. They can go off into the wilderness, not off the rails, but off to the wilderness and go a different way. And people are likely not to complain as long as they see the hallmarks of Fallout.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you get the humor in it, the post-apocalyptic nature of it, the kind of the factions, everybody's an asshole, make crazy guns,
the soda pop cash.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah,
bottle caps, have the proper amount of Easter eggs from the games, but you can go off and tell a new story and no one's going to go, you're not going to get us saying, when we see something that we don't like that's been adapted from something we know, you're not going to get us saying, well, they didn't adapt it right, we're kind of angry, lift this out. No, we'll be going, okay, it's fine. We don't need to see the games retold, because especially because Fallout games are heavily decision and outcome based.
Yep.
Where the whole choose your own adventure shit, where consequences matter. So everybody who plays a Fallout game, it's a different game for everybody, and it's even a different playthrough for yourself if you replay it. So this is an instance where you kind of do want to deviate from the existing source material in terms of existing storylines, and you have an opportunity to make something new and not piss off the fan base. An opportunity. Are they going to take it? Oh no, and are they going to do it right? I don't know. So yeah, we'll wait and see. I get this is something I can easily review. I'll be there in April. It's an easy review, not hard. Again, since I played a Fallout game, I could do it. I can handle it. I can do it well. So we'll see how that works out in April. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to reach out to me, please email me at theranernerd@gmail.com for all channel business purposes. I am on Twitter now, mostly for promotion and sharing of videos, maybe a little shit stirring here and there, who knows, @TheRenNerd. You can also find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can see me on Rumble and Odyssey under the Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.